How's it going? Welcome back to the Untitled Park Series, episode 3, and probably like episode 10 in the whole series, I'm not sure. But welcome back to Liberty Lagoon. We are finally back. It's been a while, but I'll explain why, and I'll get into all that a bit later. But like I said, welcome back. Today, we are finally creating the roller coaster for the area. This has been in the plans for a while, and I appreciate you for sticking around. If you're watching this video, because I know I've teased this a lot, and I've finally got around to doing it. So today we will be making the roller coaster, and as you can see on the screen right now, it is a double launch coaster. Well, no, that's a complete lie. It is a dueling launch coaster, and it is going to be themed to the Wild West, or Oasis technically. And yeah, I'm really excited. This video was recorded over a couple days because I have a little problem when it comes to making roller coasters. I can't sit there and like make one in one sitting. I have to take time away from it, come back, and especially when I'm recording clips, as you can see, it's not one long video, and I find it pretty hard to just sit down, and I get a little bit intimidated when I'm recording, because I'm like, wow, I'm just wasting time, and also the file is going to be 17 gigabytes. But no, I think in the end it turned out alright. But yeah, you can be the judge. So let's get into it. I'm so excited. I'm gonna try and get back into this area a bit more often, because I mean it's been a couple weeks since the last episode, but my brain has been doing a load of other things. We have got a load of park trips coming up. We've got other videos I want to record. We went to Comic-Con a couple days ago, so that video's out now if you want to go watch it. So Planet Coaster's kind of been on the back burner for now. I do bits every now and then, as you'll see in this video around the lake. A little bit later, there is some fences that I made in the background that I didn't record, that you'll see a bit later on. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm excited. So what have I been doing? Why have I not been playing at Planet Coaster? So yeah, like I said, we've been doing a lot of park trips. We've got a couple park trips coming up soon. We are going to Paulton's Park, which I'm very excited about. Haven't been there for a while. Getting on their new ride as well. They got a new dark ride called Ghostly Manor, and I'm hoping it gives me some inspiration for this area, because I'm pretty sure I want a dark ride to go somewhere. I think a flat ride and a dark ride would be good. Flat ride probably not going to be themed to the max like this coaster's going to be, but you know, you never know. I want a dark ride somewhere, and I can fit it in a building. So yeah, we're going to Paulton's Park in a couple days. That video will be coming out when I've gone. We've got a Alton Towers trip coming up soon, which I'm very excited about again. If you can't tell, I quite like theme parks. So yeah, we're going to Alton Towers. We're going for the Off the Tracks event, which is going to be exciting. Getting an ERT on Nemesis Reborn. If you don't know what an ERT is, why did I say it like that? If you don't know what an ERT is, it's basically a private extended ride time where only the group gets an hour on the ride. So we'll be on Nemesis Reborn for an hour by ourselves. No one else. I'm very excited. So yeah, there'll be videos for that. What else have I been doing? Oh yeah, Forsey. If you haven't seen, I have a little mascot now called Forsey, and we have made some crochet Forsey plushies that we are hiding around parks. So if you want to have a look at that, look at my Instagram. It's very exciting. There'll be a lot of Paulton. Let me say that again. I'm getting too excited. There'll be a lot of them at Paulton's Park, and a lot of them at Alton Towers. All you have to do is follow me on Instagram, and I'll put a little story out when I'm hiding a Forsey, and you can go find him. And you can keep him for yourself. Apart from that, I've been doing just normal shenanigans, everyday life. And yeah, Planet Coaster's kind of in the background, like I said, doing little bits. But we're here now. We're here, and we're ready to move on to the next area. Right, so let's talk about the roller coaster. Like I said, this took me a while to make. I think it took a bit longer than Mechanica in the Quarry, which is my other roller coaster, because as you can see on the screen, there are two different roller coasters. I'm making two complete different layouts. So if you recognise this, it's from Planet Coaster 1. I started making a roller coaster in Planet Coaster 1, and it the game didn't work for me. My computer wasn't great at the time. It kept lagging. It was like really terribly optimized. So I thought, you know what, Planet Coaster 2 is coming out in a couple months. I might as well keep the idea in my head and do it in the game. Because I was really happy with the coaster that I made. I just knew that Planet Coaster 1 would not be able to handle it. And if I went into theming it all with the expectations I had, it wasn't going to happen. So yeah, here we are, Planet Coaster 2. I have kind of copied the beginning of the layout over. It is completely different to the one I made in Planet Coaster 1, but I don't know, I kind of like that. I didn't want to completely copy it, so the only thing that's kind of copied is this double launch segment kind of at the start of the ride, and the initial launch directly at the start. That's the only thing copied, and yeah, I'm very happy with it so far. So this video is only going to be the layout of the ride, because as you'll see at the end, it's a whole spaghetti mess, and I'm going to custom support the whole thing. Oh god, I'm not... It's a fun game, but I'm not looking forward to custom supporting the whole ride. And I know you're probably thinking, I don't need to do that at all, but I don't need to do any of this, so I'm going to do it. I might be a bit sneaky every now and then, put a couple pre-made supports, but yeah, in general it's going to take a long time, so that's why I didn't want to record it. It's a pretty long episode today, as it is. You don't need to see me painfully custom supporting this ride for about 24 hours non-stop. And yeah, so today is only going to be the layout, and I'm pretty sure coming up we had our first crash of the whole series. Yep, here we go. Yep, the game crashed. And you know what, fair play. I mean, that was the first crash we had since I've been playing and since I've been starting the Untitled Park series. So, you know what? Fair enough. And it auto-saved as well, so I didn't lose any progress, which is great. So yeah, let's get on to the whole theme of this coaster and what I want it to look like in the end. As you can see a lot in this time lapse, there's a lot of trial and error, and I wanted it to include that because you don't get everything right the first time, and I think it's important that, again, I say it every single episode and you're sick of me and you hate me, but the whole point of this series, say it with me, is to show that you don't give up and you can do anything you put your mind to. So yeah, there is a lot of questionable layouts in this coaster that don't see the light of day, but that's the whole point. That's the whole point of the game. So the theming of this coaster is obviously going to fit in with the Wild West theme of the whole area, but like I said, I started this in Planet Coaster 1 and I made the initial launch theming, and I'm definitely going to copy that from the first game because I love it so much. So as you can see over there is a facade, like a fake facade, and there's going to be a load of them blocking the launch basically. So if you're on a path, you won't be able to see the launch at all, and you're just going to see it go up the top hat at the start. And I'm going to cover it with a load of facades, like I said, and then at the end there's going to be a massive TNT barrel that shoots you out. There's going to be smoke effects, there's going to be lighting effects, and yeah, I can't wait for it because, as I said, I made it in Planet Coaster 1. It turned out really well, if I don't say so myself. So yeah, I can see it happening in Planet Coaster 2, especially with the items we have now. It is so doable. And the scaling, we didn't have scaling in Planet Coaster 1, which I find insane. So yeah, that's going to turn out really well. In terms of the whole rest of the theming for the ride, I think it's going to be quite generic because I don't know if I'm going to put any pathing around there, so I don't know if the theming is entirely necessary, and I don't want to be using unnecessary pieces and space, but I think the whole coaster's going around the back, so it would be nice to have a little viewpoint area, even if it's like one path that you can go up and down and come back. I think it'll add to the area, so looking forward to that. As you can see on the screen now, we have a very weird looking, you'll see in a second, it's very, yeah, it's a questionable shape for a top hat, and okay, that doesn't help, that really doesn't help, but in my head, the forces going up that top hat would be insane, because you get pulled back, and then over the top you get pulled forward. What can't you love? But I mean, the shape wasn't great, and even though the forces would be good, careful. I don't know, I wouldn't want that on my skyline if I worked at the park. And I technically do, I'm the owner. But yeah, we ended up with going sort of like a dive loop, as you can see there. But yeah, the interaction on this coaster was a definite must for me. I didn't want it to be like Stardust. Is it Stardust races at Epic Universe, where they're like carbon copies of each other? They just do different bits every now and then. I wanted it to be two completely different layouts that eventually meet up at like a halfway point, at a halfway launch, and then they go on. So they start at the same time and end at the same time. And as you'll see at the end of the video, I did do that. The ending could do with a bit of improvement because the white track ends up finishing a bit later than the black track. But hey, nothing some off-screen building can't fix. But it will take me a while. But hey ho. Also, them track colours won't be the final track colours. I kind of made them black and white for the building process, so it made it a little bit easier to know what I'm doing pretty much. I think I'll go with like a brown track and a silver track at the end. In Planet Coaster 1 I did red and purple, but I don't think that fits with the area. I mean, you never know, I could give it a go and see if it comes out well. But yeah, I think brown and silver would look nice, and it would kind of make sense in terms of like, if we're getting really nerdy, for like Wild West materials, like silver and wooden. I don't know, I feel like that would kind of look nice. But yeah, for now, just black and white, so I could actually see what I was doing. Now, in terms of realism of the ride, I'm gonna be honest, it's not the most realistic ride I've ever made, and this series is kind of meant to be, I don't know, I would prefer it if it was more realistic than a sort of like crazy theme park where there's floating spaceships and stuff like that. But I'm hoping it will look a bit better when it's custom supported. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a game. Like, it doesn't have to be realistic. I'm not gonna remake the whole ride just because it doesn't do a bank very well. But yeah, I don't know. This is one of the longest layouts I've made in Planet Coaster, like even 1 and 2. So it was one of them things where it got near the end of the ride and I'm like, the layout's it kind of drags a bit. You'll see near the end is I just put a couple airtime hills and a couple bank turns in. But hey, I hope you like it. There'll be a POV, there'll be a POV at the end of the video as well. So make sure you check that out. But yeah, I want to know your opinions down below of what you think of the ride. I put the Mechanica POV on TikTok, and I think I can have a look right now, but I think it got 100k views, which is like genuinely insane and kind of terrifying that 100,000 people have seen my Planet Coaster ability. It's at 102,000 views. You know what? Let's read a couple comments live. Smiler times Hyperia equals hysteria. Big fan. The first bit is literally Hyperia. All right, leave me alone. Lost Gravity 2.0. Yeah, I can see that. Mix between Untamed and Lost Gravity. Lost Gravity. It looks like the Smiler. Okay, right. At the end of the day, I tried my best. But yeah, let me know what you think down below of the layout. Obviously, it might change. There's possibilities that I might change little bits here and there. But just keep in mind, I haven't taken inspiration from anything, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I agree with the Lost Gravity comments and the Smiler comments on my... No, I don't agree with the Smiler comments, actually. Put my foot down. I agree with the Hyperia comments on my Mechanica ride. But yeah, if you want to, let me know what this ride reminds me of down below. And yeah, I'll do little... I don't know what I'm saying. The TikTok comments have got to me. But no, in all seriousness, yeah, let me know what you think down below. But we are coming to the end of the episode, and I just want to say again, thank you for sticking around. I know it's taken a while for this video to get out. I've just been sort of lacking inspiration a little bit because I knew it was such a big coaster to make. But hey, we've got a flat ride coming up and hopefully a dark ride, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe, and yeah, let me know what you think of the ride down below. I just wanted to make a fun little ride, with cool viewpoints, cool skyline, and I hope I've done that. So I'll leave you with a bit of music. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.